Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotees. Shivana Krishnadas Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you all
E
devotees.
Kumar Prabhu ki jai. Sarvati Mata ji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you all devotees once again
Sadanand Swami Prabhu ki
joining
jai.
our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session in English. Hare Krishna. So Thursday we have completed chapter 12 completed. So today we will start with the new chapter 13 titled The Behavior of a Perfect Person. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtagi Mukam Karodi Vachalam Bangum Lagede Girim Yat Kribadam Hamande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Sri Chaitanyamesharam Omajnanidmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chachurun Milidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Gata Mahyam Dadanti Subhadandiyam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udavadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sakhana Regunadhanidam Dam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Bharjan Sakidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Vadan Sakhana Lulda Sri Vishaka Nitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesh Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhana Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadarupya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatyade Deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Nama Krishna Vada Krishna Krishna Srimade Vajjadi Vadan Vidade Gaura Gadana Madhya Gadadhar Hare Krishna, welcome once more all devotees. Hare Krishna. So, chapter 13 to start. Krishna, entitled The Behavior of a Perfect Person. So, Prabhuji, I'll start with the introduction.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. And Alpanam. This 13th chapter describes the regulative principles for sannyasis and also describes the history of an Avaduta. If it concludes with a description of perfection for the student in spiritual advancement. Sri Narada Muni has been describing the symptoms of various ashramas and varnas. Now, in this chapter, he especially describes the regulative principles to be followed by sannyasis. After retiring from family life, one should accept the status of Vanaprastha, in which he must formally accept the body as his means of existence, but gradually forget the bodily necessities of life. After Vanaprastha life, having left home, one should travel to different places as a sannyasi. Without bodily comforts and free from dependence on anyone with respect to bodily necessities. One should travel everywhere, wearing almost nothing or actually walking naked. Without association with ordinary human society, one should beg alms and always be satisfied in himself. One should be a friend to every living entity and be very peaceful in Krishna consciousness. A sannyasi should travel alone in this way, not caring for life or death, waiting for the time when he will leave his material body. He should not indulge in unnecessary books or adopt professionals like astrology, nor should he try to become a great orator. He should also give up the path of unnecessary argument and should not depend on anyone under any circumstances. He should not try to allure people into becoming his disciples just so that the number of his disciples may increase. He should give up the habit of reading many books as a means of livelihood, and he should not attempt to increase the number of temples and madhas or monasteries. Yes, Guruji? Madhas
And
or
continue.
monasteries. When a sannyasi thus becomes completely independent, peaceful, and equipped, he can select the destination he desires after death and follow the principles by which to reach the destination. Although fully learned, he should always remain silent like a dumb person and travel like a restless child. In this regard, Narada Muni described a meeting between Prahlada and a saintly person who had adopted the mode of life of a python. In this way, he described the symptoms of a Paramahamsa. A person who has attained the Paramahamsa stage knows very well the distinction between matter and spirit. He is not at all interested in gratifying the material senses, for he is always deriving pleasure from devotional service to the Lord. He is not very anxious to protect his material body, being satisfied with whatever he attains by the grace of the Lord. He is completely independent of material happiness and distress, and thus he is transcendental to all regulative principles. Sometimes he accepts severe austerities, and sometimes he accepts material opulence. His only concern is to satisfy Krishna, and for that purpose he can do anything and everything without reference to the regulative principles. He is never to be equated with materialistic men, nor is he subject to the judgments of such men. Hare Krishna. The introduction is over.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, this 5 verses, Prabhu, I think we can recite together. Only translation is there. Without, we can go up to verse number 5.
5. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
One by one, maybe everybody can recite one by one. Verse.
okay.
Fifth verse, we can start.
So, somebody want to continue, or I will?
Click the verse, Prabhu.
First verse, maybe you can do, Prabhu. Then one devotee can do one verse.
Yeah, okay. Text 1. Sri Narada Muni said, sorry, it's from the, okay, 7.13.1. Sri Narada Uvacha Kalpastvevam Parivrajya Dehamatra Gramaigaratra Vidhina Charedmahim. Sri Narada Uvacha Kalpastvevam Parivrajya Dehamatra Gramaigaratra Vidhina Nirapetsha Share Mahim. Translation by His Divine Grace, Abhajaranaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sri Narada Muni said, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge should renounce all material connections and merely keeping the body inhabitable. He should travel from one place to another, passing only the night in each village. In this way, without dependence in regard to the needs of the body, the sannyasi should travel all over the world. Hare Krishna. Somebody can read too.
Hare Krishna. Bibriyat yati asau vasaha. Bibriyat yati asau vasaha. Kaubina chadhanam param. Kaubina chadhanam param. Tyaktam nalingat dandadir. Tyaktam nalingat dandadir. Anyat kinjit anapati. Anyat kinjit anapati. Translation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person in the renounced order of life may try to avoid even a dress to cover himself. If he wears anything at all, it should be only a loin cloth. And when there is no necessity, a sannyasi should not even accept a danda. A sannyasi should avoid carrying anything but a danda and kamandil. Hare Krishna.
Number 3.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. List number 3. Ega eva tavet vishu atma ramo anapasraya sarvabhuta sugachanto narayana parayana. Ega eva tamet vishu atma ramo anapasraya sarvabhuta sugachanto narayana parayana. The translation. The sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on arms begged from door to door, not being dependent on any person or any place. He should always be a friendly well-wisher to all living beings and be a peaceful, unalloyed devotee of Narayana. In this way, he should move from one place to another. Translation once more. The sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on arms begged from door to door, not being dependent on any person or any place. He should always be a friendly well-wisher to all living beings and be a peaceful, unalloyed devotee of Narayana. In this way, he should move from one place to another. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse number 4.
Hare Krishna,
Please
Prabhu.
read. Okay, Guruji, I will read next
Hare-
time. Please read.
Okay, okay, Mata. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.13.4. पश्येदात्मनेरोधो विश्वं परिषदस्यतु अव्यये आत्मानं च परं ब्रह्म सर्वत्र सदस्यन्मये. Translation. The sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme providing everything and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's pervading, Prabhu, pervading.
Pervading.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No.
Translations more.
But
The
read it.
sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme providing everything and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Verse number 5.
Guruji, continue.
5 also.
7.13.5 Sukti Prabodhayo Samdav Atmano Gidim Atmadrik Pashyan बन्धं च मोक्षं च माया मात्रं न वस्तुतः प्रदयो सन्धावात्मनो गतिमात्मदृक् पश्याम बन्धं च मोक्षं च maya matram na vastudaha. Translation: during unconsciousness and consciousness, and between the two, he should try to understand the self and be fully situated in the self. In this way, he should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. With such a higher understanding, he should see only the absolute truth pervading everything. Translation once more. During unconsciousness and consciousness, and between the two, he should try to understand the self and be fully situated in the self. In this way, he should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. With such a higher understanding, he should see only the absolute truth pervading everything. Purport: the unconscious state is nothing but ignorance, darkness, or material existence, and in the conscious state, one is awake. The marginal state between consciousness and unconsciousness has no permanent existence. Therefore, one who is advanced in understanding the self should understand that consciousness and consciousness are illusions, for they fundamentally do not exist. Only the supreme absolute truth exists. As confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tadamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avasthidah. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is perverted. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Everything exists on the basis of Krishna's impersonal feature. Nothing can exist without Krishna. Therefore, the advanced devotee of Krishna can see the Lord everywhere without illusion. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So,
My humble obeisance to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we are actually beginning a new chapter today, Canto 7, chapter 13, the behavior of a perfect person. So Prabhupada always says like, who is a Vaishnava? Vaishnava means he's a perfect gentleman. Means you cannot see any flaw in them. It's called a Vaishnava. If you see the previous chapter, actually it is describing about the four classes, the four actually varnas. No, the four sorry, not four. The four. One is Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So ashramas only, four ashramas. Out of the four ashramas, the two ashramas are described in the previous chapter, and here we can see in this chapter, actually in the previous chapter, Narada Muni is describing the duties of Brahmachari and Vanaprastha. In this chapter, actually, Narada Muni is describing about the conduct of a sannyasi. This is how the conduct of sannyasi, Prabhupada has given very beautiful introduction. Because if you see in ISKCON, there are many sannyasis. Prabhupada initiated so many sannyasis. So Prabhupada actually means making use of this opportunity and giving explanation how a sannyasi should behave in the society, how he should be his conduct, and very clearly is saying. Now we see the major religions in this world, like Islam, Christianity, and our Sanatana Dharma. Of course, in Islam, there is no concept like a sannyasi. But in Christianity, there are fathers. Right? They are there. But they are not strict like this. But Sanatana Dharma, they have very strict code of conduct. And it is very much important for a sannyasi, what he is eating or how he is behaving, because he is like a perfect person, ideal. That's why it is written, the behavior of a perfect person. So sometimes they don't understand why they think that everybody should get married. So our Sanatana Dharma approves both. Once a person is after finishing his brahmachari training, there are two paths to him. One is either he can become a grahastha, that is also approved by Krishna as a ashram, grahastha ashram. Because he has got a good training, he will lead a very regulated life after undergoing this training. Now, like in ISKCON, we have a lot of brahmacharis. So once the brahmachari period is completed, they have their option. Nobody can force them that you should become a sannyasi, or nobody says that you have to become a grahastha. It's up to the person. But there are persons who want to become sannyasi. They don't want to enter the family life. So there are like three categories. Like one is an atheist category who just want only material life. The second category is actually a religious person. Maybe if any religion, is a religious person. He want material life as well as God. No, he goes to prayer, he goes to temple, and he also wants material life. But there is a third category with the higher categories. Higher category is he only wants God. He does not want anything in this world except God. So was Ekeha Kurunandana. His only focus is actually God. He does not want anything in this material life or in this material world. So that person is actually called sannyasi, Paramamsa, very highest, because he is able to sacrifice everything for the sake of the Supreme Lord. So that is like very high stage. Of course, a grasa also can become like that. But even though a grasa can become, but the grasa will face a lot of obstacles and challenges when he's executing his grasa ashram. He cannot, be like sannyasi. It's difficult actually, you can say, because grasa has to take care of the family. The family will face a lot of challenges with the children, with the finance, with so many things. But a sannyasi, full focus is only Krishna. Hmm? He does not think of his tomorrow because we have a bank account. They don't have bank account also. Tomorrow, what he will eat, where he will stay, everything is dependent on Krishna's mercy. So he is able to see Krishna everywhere. So in that way, Prabhupada is very wonderfully writing. Of course, he is also giving this instruction for the sannyasis also in ISKCON, how they should behave with their conduct, and all those things is very clearly explained here. And you can see the introduction itself, Prabhupada writes here of this. After retiring, one should accept family life, one should accept the status of Vanaprastha, which that all completed after previous verses. After Vanaprastha stage is sannyas life. So Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and sannyas. But in Kali Yuga, sannyas is actually prohibited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has highlighted that sannyas is not allowed. As well as the sacrifices, no? Before there was Ashwamedha Yajna, all these yajnas were there. Like they will kill the cow, the old cows, when the yajna or the horses like that. But this yajna also is prohibited in Kali Yuga because there are no qualified brahmanas. First point. And sannyas also is prohibited in Kali Yuga. Why sannyas is prohibited? Because sannyas is actually, this Kali Yuga is very disturbed age. People cannot become very staunch sannyasis because there is so much disturbance. You see, now there is 5G, there is internet, there is mobile phone. These are already predicted in the scriptures. Previous ages are not like that. A sannyasi can be very peaceful without any disturbance, so much self-control and everything. But now, after becoming Vanaprastha, you cannot take sannyas because we are not so much trained. We are not so much self-controlled and so much regulated. But of course, Prabhupada given sannyas because it is for spreading Krishna consciousness. He has selected few of his disciples who are capable and he has given sannyas. But for normal people, we cannot follow the protocol like Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. That category is prohibited in Kali Yuga. That is one important point we should understand when we are reading this code of conduct of sannyasis here. So, after Vanaprastha life having left home, one should travel to different places as a sannyasi. So, that is actually as per our Varnashram system. Without bodily comfort. So, sannyasi main point is he is not bothered about his bodily comforts. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj also comes here to Kanyadesh. He will, once he comes, enters any the accommodation, he will switch off the AC. For us, without AC, we feel so much difficult. First thing is he will switch off AC because he is not bothered about the bodily comforts. And bodily, one should travel. And the second thing, Prabhupada writes here, the sannyasis should travel like a restless child. Very important point. If you see a child, if you take them to any shop, they will go run here, there. They will not stay even with the parents. They keep on moving here and there, moving here and there. They never get tired also. Even though the parents tell them to sit, they play stand, they will go again run. So like that, sannyasis should keep on traveling. That is one of the important things. Because why it is that traveling means they can meet many conditioned souls. Like they are staying in one town. They can only meet that conditioned souls within that town. If they travel, then they can meet many conditioned souls and they can give Krishna consciousness to more people. So that is the main intent of traveling. So here we can see, like his Holiness Jayapada Swami Maharaj, he got Guinness record also for the traveling more miles, across the world. So he was traveling like that. That's the reason the Krishna consciousness spread. All Prabhupada disciples, they are continuously traveling till date, not like 10 years before. No. Now recently also Maharaj, even though he is in dialysis, still he traveled to Madurai, Tamil Nadu, and he initiated around 600 disciples, 600 devotees he initiated. And, and still he is in hospital. His health went down.
Yes.
We can understand when we are healthy, it is difficult for us to travel. When we travel, no, after travel, we feel like 2-3 days, we feel very tired. Jet lag is there. So much things are there, but they are, in spite of their bodily discomforts, they are traveling like that. So we should know they are not ordinary souls. First thing we should know, a sannyasi or a Vaishnava, pure devotees, they are not ordinary souls. They are actually empowered by the Lord. So they should say, it is said in the scripture that one should not see the spiritual person as a normal human being, ordinary human. You should not equate. They are actually Sakshat, Darit, when they are non-different. They are fully empowered by the Lord, and actually they are very, very intimate to the Lord. So in that way, we should understand. We can see by their activities also, a normal human being cannot perform like this. We cannot do. We cannot imitate them also, but we should take inspiration from all the Srila Prabhupada disciples, like his holiness Indramana Swami Maharaj also. He is also traveling a lot. He has written a book also, Traveling the Monk, Diary of a Traveling Monk. So he keeps on recording his realizations, And recently he met Prime Minister also in Delhi, and he given his book. Constantly he keeps on traveling. He never stays in place. Like that, we can see a lot of Prabhupada disciples, they keep on traveling in order to the intent of spreading Krishna consciousness, to give Krishna consciousness to many conditioned souls rather than staying in one place. So that's why Prabhupada is saying a sannyasi should travel like a restless child. And one more important point, one should be a friend to every living entity. So Surdam Sarva Bhutana means like they should be not seeing that this person is, not good, we should not give Krishna. They should be well-wisher of everybody. And the sannyasi should travel alone in this way, not caring for life or death. So when a person accepts sannyas, in ISKCON, there are many people waiting for sannyas. They actually propose for sannyas, and then the GBC will decide and approve. After that, only they get sannyas. It's not that whimsically they will give a sannyas to anybody. They will see how far he has served the mission, how far he's dedicated, how far he's detached. So, like that, there are a lot of names waiting for sannyas in the sannyas list. Once the GBC will approve, then they take sannyas formally through some of the spiritual masters who are in the ISKCON society. Here we can see, and once a person is awarded sannyas, he cannot, he is actually materially considered as dead. Spiritually, he is alive, but materially is dead means he is totally irrelevant. He is totally not bothered about any material things. Materially is dead. A person is dead means what? He is not having any more desires materially. So that is one important point. He is actually considered, and spiritually he is very much alive. And there is one more important point also we should understand. Maybe some of you already know. A brahmachari, he can, as long you may be having a saffron cloth as brahmachari in the temple. Maybe his age is 30, 35. But at the age of 35, he decides to marry. He can marry. There is no harm. Even 40 years, up to 40 years, he is brahmachari. After 40th years, he is thinking that, no, I want to get married. I want to take grahastha ashram. It is approved to become a grahastha. Nobody can tell no, and it is not. It is accepted in the society also. Even in ISKCON, it is accepted. Any brahmachari can become a grahastha at any time in his life. Okay, but a sannyas, if a person takes sannyas, then he cannot marry. It is not at all accepted. And the scripture says, if somebody after taking sannyas, he wants to marry or is having connection with any woman, it is said that he is taking his own vomit back. Somebody vomited something, then he will take his vomit again. He's taking the vomit back. He's taking as a food. It is compared to like that. So sannyas is very, very serious. A person one who takes sannyas, it is like a very serious thing in the spiritual life, and he can never consider of opposite sex or never consider of marriage in this lifetime. It is not possible. So that scripture is very much particular. But a brahmachari has the option of either becoming a sannyas or grasa at any time in his life. So sannyas is like that very serious business. And then Prabhupada also writes here, sannyas should not carry. He should not indulge in unnecessary books. He should not or adopt professions like astrology. Again, sannyasi is tempted to earn some money. He knows already, like his divine grace, his Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was very expert in astrology. Surya Siddhanta. He knows just by seeing a person's face, he can become a brahmachari grahastha. Just by seeing his face. He can immediately understand. So he was so much expert in astrology, but he thrown the astrology. Because after accepting sannyas, no, he just thrown. He said, this is only a stumbling block in my devotional service. So he never took up the astrology. Before that, he written a book on Surya Siddhanta, but he never practiced anything on astrology. Nor should he become a great orator. He should give up the path of unnecessary argument and should not depend on anyone under any circumstance. So that's why sannyasis don't have bank account also. Because when you have bank account, you always depend on the money. The sannyasis, they depend on Krishna. And he should not attempt to increase the number of temples or matas or monasteries. Prabhupada's spiritual master also given the instruction that if at all you get any money, print books. No need to construct temples, because once you construct temple, then your focus will be diverted to so many things to expand, and then you may lose focus on Krishna. And he can select destination he desires after death. So whatever a sannyasi will desire at the time of death or he plans, that kind of destination he is sure to achieve. And he should always remain silent. Silent means grave, and like a dumb person, and travel like a restless child. We already discussed this, travel like a restless child. And further, Prabhupada writes, Narada Muni describes meeting between, here in this chapter, there's a discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and a saintly person who was almost like a sannyasi, like he was like a mode of life python. Why python is compared? Because python, if you see it just standing in one, laying in one place, it will not go in search of food also. Near python, any animal will go, it will just catch and eat the food like that. So python, like python is compared. And the sannyasis are normally addressed with this Paramahamsa. Prabhupada took sannyas. And sannyas means it is sacrifice. We should understand. Sannyas means it is sacrifice. And sacrifice was what? For a greater cause. Like Prabhupada took sannyas, ISKCON was born. Like Prabhupada disciples took sannyas, now ISKCON expanded all over the world. So behind every sacrifice, there is glorious result. Like the mother sacrifices everything for her child, the child future becomes very bright. The parents sacrifice. So we should understand behind every sacrifice, the result will be very glorious. Like our father, nation of our father, he sacrificed everything for freedom of India. Then we got freedom. So like that, we should know sacrifice means the result will be good. Very important point. Sacrifice means result will be glorious, and that sacrifice result is not only for me. It will be for the entire country. Like his Grace Radhesham Prabhu, somebody asked him, he was IIT gold medalist. So, Prabhuji, if you are married, he said that if I have married, what I will do? I am IIT gold medalist, MTech. I might have got a job in US. And maybe I will buy a villa there and I will buy a car. Definitely, people going to US, they buy a car, a big villa with swimming pool, very nice, posh area. Because you are highly educated, you will become a CEO of a company there. But because I sacrifice that, but what will be the benefit? Me and my family will be very good. I'll have good bank balance. My family, my friends, my relatives, I can give some money, help them. Within a small circle, I can live a kind of posh life. But because he said I have sacrificed and taken this order as a brahmachari, there are many, many conditioned souls, so many conditioned souls, they are getting benefit out of Prabhuji's classes, Prabhuji's guidance, Prabhuji's association. Recently, when I went to Ujjain, Prabhuji came there. I met Prabhuji also. I took his blessings also. I invited for release also. But Prabhuji said that he's not going in transit. He's directly flying to US every time without transit. And he said, Middle East, if I come, it's one country I come, everybody will start calling. And it's difficult for me. My plan is already full. So he said, because of that, so many college youth, they all become guided by Prabhuji's direction. When he came to Ujjain temple, there was ISKCON Youth Forum meeting was there. So all the brahmachari leaders, they came there last week. So he, we can see that the young, the teenage boys, they are so much eager to welcome Prabhuji, so much they are attached to him because of his guidance, because of his association. They are very eager for this association. If he was not there, so who will guide all these people? So now not only he, his family, there's so much youths are getting guided. This is the result of a sacrifice. The sacrifice means it will be for a greater benefit of the entire society, not only for my family. So that we should understand here. And he's always being satisfied whatever he attains by the grace of the Lord. He is completely independent of material happiness and distress. And thus he is transcendental to all regulative principles. He does not bother for any material things, because he knows that Lord is the provider for everything. Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetananam Eko Bhogunam Yodadati Kaman. This is the truth. But as a family person, it is very difficult for us to understand that the Lord is providing. We think, okay, I have 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs in my account, so I will buy food like this, I will do for my son like this. We always think that I will do because of this. No, actually the provider is the Lord. But we don't realize. But a person who has taken sannyas, he will realize that tomorrow, whatever food he is getting, shelter is getting, it is arranged by the Lord, not because of by himself. So that is the advantage of their realization is higher, you can say. And his only concern is to satisfy Krishna. For that purpose, he can do anything and everything. Like Prabhupada, even though he was a sannyasi, according to scripture, a sannyasi is not allowed to travel beyond the ocean. That means he should not travel beyond India. Any sannyasis are not supposed to travel. But in order to satisfy Krishna and in order to satisfy his Guru Maharaj, he broke that principle. He traveled over the ocean for only one purpose, to satisfy Krishna and to satisfy his spiritual master. So, if our concern is to satisfy Krishna, that purpose he can do anything and everything without reference to the regulative principles. Because the one regulative principle says that a sannyasi should not cross the ocean. Even today there are many orthodox sannyasis even in India, in different matas. They will not travel outside India because the scripture says you should not travel outside. You should not cross ocean because there are outside ocean you have mlechas, degraded people, and by that association of them you will fall down. So that's why the scripture says don't travel outside. He is never to be equated with a materialistic man. That's why I said we should not equate a sannyasi with a normal human being, nor is he subjected to the judgments of such men. Suppose a normal man, materialistic men, they don't have good what is that opinion about sannyasi. They think, oh, they are like parasites into the society. They are not working like us. We are working from morning to evening. Actually, our work is materialistic work is like a donkey work. Like we are doing for nothing. There is no benefit. We are only destroying the world. Whatever we are doing from morning to evening, and we are earning money. Actually, by our work, we are destroying the world. There is nothing we are doing constructive. We are taking the oil, we are polluting, we are making plastics, we are contributing to the global warming, increase in temperature, because so much industries we are opening and we are working with the industries, and those industries are only polluting this world. So any materialistic man, they do not appreciate a holy person. So we should not actually hear to them, nor we should be concerned about the judgments of such materialistic people, because spiritual people, they give enlightenment. The sannyasis, they give us enlightenment. They guide us properly in the society. One time, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj was giving a lecture in college. So, one of the college student, he asked very challengingly to Maharaj that why do we need sannyasis, like that. Then Maharaj actually replied to him that why do we need a chartered accountant? Why do we need an engineer? Chartered accountant is required because the company finance to be monitored. Otherwise, there will be so much corruption. So much people will be cheating with money. An engineer is required for building, for so many things. A doctor is required. A nurse is required. Everybody has a role in the society. Maharaj said, everybody is required. Without nurse, a hospital cannot function. Without doctor, we cannot get treated for our diseases. We have every day new diseases. Immediately we are rushing to the doctor. Then we get cured. Then we are continuing our material life. So everybody has a role in the society, and Maharaj replied like that. A sannyasi also required in the society because he can guide the entire society in the right way. If there is no, it's like a captain in the ship. We are all like passengers. If there is no captain, the ship will do not know where to go. So the captain will guide according to the right destination. So like that, a sannyasi is required that he will guide the society. But normally material people think that sannyasi is not required. What they are doing, they are not doing anything. No, they are enlightened people who can enlighten the common society, who are actually blinded by the illusory energy of the Lord. So we very, very important. Now we have so much sannyasis. That's why we are getting guided. We are following the 4 regulative principles. We are chanting means what? Some sannyasi has entered our life and guided and given the shelter. That's why we are able to follow the right path. Otherwise, we will just mix with materialistic people. We will just enjoy party. We have getting money. We will just enjoy, spoil our life, and our destination will be degraded in our next life. Either we go to hell or we'll be degraded. We will not go back to home, back to God. So, as everybody has their role, A sannyasi has very, the most important role in the society to guide the entire humanity towards the right direction, back to home, back to God. So this is the glory of a person who has taken sannyas and his role in the society. And Narada Muni is, the first verse is describing, Sri Narada Muni said, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge, verse number 1, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge should renounce all material connections, and this is all what a sannyasi is supposed to do. And merely keeping the body in absence, just to maintain his body in healthy condition, he should travel from one place to another, passing only one night in each village. You should not stay for a long time, because again, if you stay for 10 days, 20 days, then the mind will get attached to that place. That's the reason it is said that you should travel from only one night in each village. In this way, without dependence on regards to the needs of body, the sannyasi should travel all over the world. So verse number 2, a person in renounced order of life may try to avoid even a dress to cover himself. So he's not bothered about dress also, like Avadutas. If he wears anything at all, it should be only a loin cloth. So previously, we see there are many sannyasis. Even in my place in Tiruvannamalai, there are sannyasis who are renounced order, like Ramana Maharishi. You could just type Ramana Maharishi. He was a saint in our place, and he's very famous all over the world. But he was in the path of Jnana Yoga. He was a ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, but impersonalist. But he will only wear loin cloth. With all his photos, you can see only loin cloth, no other cloth, throughout his life, like that. And when there is a necessity, a sannyasi should not even accept danda. A sannyasi should avoid carrying anything but a danda and a kamandalu. This was an old tradition, Now nobody has kamandalu, but all the sannyasis have danda. And verse number 3, the sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on alms begged from door to door. So that's how the sannyasi should live. Not being dependent on any person or any place, he should always be friendly well-wisher to all living beings and be peaceful. Unallied devotee of Narayana. So here Narada Muni is specifically saying that you should not become a Brahmavadi, you should become an unalloyed devotee impersonalist. No, you should become an unalloyed devotee of Narayana. In this way, he should move from one place to another. Third verse number 4. The sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme, pervading everything, and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme. So this is the consciousness of a sannyasi. When he sees any person, any object on any place, he should always see the hand of Lord in everything, pervading in everything and see everything. So that's how the sannyasi sees this world. And verse number 5, the last verse today, here Prabhupada has written a purport. During unconsciousness, that is our sleeping stage, and during consciousness, our waking stage, and between the two, you should try to understand the self, means the soul, and be fully situated in the self. Atma Ram should be situated in the self. In this way, you should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. In one way, we can see our life is nothing but a 80 illusion, means dream, 80 years dream. Okay. Now maybe we are living 70, 80 years. Whatever we are living, whether we are in conscious state or unconscious state, together it is a dream. Because after 80 years, now if we see, we are whatever like 40 or 45, 50, we are nearing 50. Just we rewind our past life, it is like a dream. We may have encountered so much shocks, so much surprises, so much happiness, so much sorrow. But now if you think what happened in 25 age, what happened in 30, what happened in 35, that time it was a big thing. But now it is only like a dream. Similarly, when you live this life at the age of 70, 75, 80, 85, all this life will be a dream. All this, nothing is factual, and not actually factual, Prabhupada is mentioning. But whatever we do in bhakti, that will be factual. Because that will come with us even for the next life. But whatever we did in this life, material things, it is going to be just as a passing dream. Like one king, he was actually, he was dreaming that he was like and like one beggar, he was dreaming that he became a very big king. And he suddenly woke up. He was like a king, so many people praising him, so many people, praising him, like that. After he woke up, he saw he was a beggar. Then he did not know. He was thinking, am I a king dreaming to be a beggar, or am I a beggar who is dreaming as a king? He did not know what is actual truth. Like that, in our dream also, sometimes we see strange things. Sometimes we become a different person in the dream. Then when we wake up, we see which is true, which is whether I am living now, this is true or the dream is true. So the entire material life is a dream. With such a higher understanding, you should see only the absolute truth pervading everywhere. So the unconscious state, proper, right? The unconscious state is nothing but ignorance. So unconscious thing, tamoguna. That is actually when you are dreaming. And in conscious state, one is awake. The marginal state between consciousness and unconscious state, that is, the transition state, has no permanent existence. And because life is temporary. Therefore, one who is advanced in understanding the self should understand that unconsciousness and consciousness are but illusions, for they fundamentally do not exist. Only what is existing is the supreme absolute truth. If you are chanting, you are always in association with the supreme absolute truth. And Prabhupada gives a reference of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 9.4. Maya tadam vidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsani sarva bhutani nacha ham teshum avastitaha. By me, in my unmanifested form. So, Krishna, in this unmanifested form, jagat avyakta murtina, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in Krishna, but Krishna is not everywhere. How to understand that? If you see a table, the table also is a manifestation of wood. Wood is nothing but is Krishna's energy. But we cannot say, I am not in the means. We cannot now take a table and say, this is Krishna, I will worship Krishna. So that way we should understand, I am not in them means everything is Krishna's energy, but we cannot take everything and worship Krishna in them. Okay. So, but I am not in them. Everything exists on, that is Krishna's impersonal energy. Everything exists on basis of Krishna's impersonal feature. Nothing can exist without Krishna. One thing, very important point is, anything we see in this world, either it is Krishna or Krishna's energy. So nothing can exist without Krishna. So Krishna Vigraha, it is not different from Krishna. But if you see any material object, this is Krishna's energy. Therefore, the advanced devotee of Krishna can see the Lord everywhere without illusion. So this is the Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari, he can see Krishna everywhere. In the material world, anywhere he sees, he always sees the Lord and the Lord's energy without the Maya. So, Devi Yesha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratya, Mama Eve Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarante. So, the pure devotee of the Lord, he is not actually influenced by the material energy of the Lord. So, that is an important point here. So, all the verses from 1 to 10, now we have completed up to 5, is describing about the qualities of a sannyasi. So, we have discussed up to verse number 5 today. And again, further progressing, verses are given for 5, 6, also 5 and 6. 4, 5, 6 is describing about how the consciousness of a sannyasi, that how he is able to see the Lord everywhere without illusion. And then from 7 to 10 also, other qualities of a sannyasi is given. And from 11 to 46 is actually conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and Avadut Brahman. That conversation will start from verse number 11. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you, devotees.
Thank you very much for it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, any questions or comments, please feel free to express it. Hare Krishna.
Do you want to add anything? Sadanda Proji, Sarvada Madaji, Sri Madaji.
Yes, Prabhu, here, thank you, Prabhu. Very explained, means very, very interesting class. This is same, the ashramas and the 3 types, means we already discussed. The third is sannyasi. So here, this just like we are in a, this is the position of the 3 energies, right, Prabhu? The Tadastha Shakti, internal and so just like here is also this then explained here, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sannyasi is just like what is that, Prabhu? Read that one. Forget that one. 7.
Sannyasis actually they have transcended all these three influence of the 3 gunas.
7, 13.
Prajit, the slogan numbers, can you just again repeat? Referring to.
Yes, Prabhu. Now, verse number up to verse number 10, Prabhu, qualities of a sannyasi.
Qualities, yeah.
Sorry, qualities, especially 4, 5, 6 is consciousness of a sannyasi. 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Okay, and other qualities are there up to verse number 10. Other qualities of a sannyasi. And then from verse number 11, the discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and the Avadut Brahman will begin.
11 to
11 to, I think, up to the end of the chapter 46 or something.
I see.
Yeah. Yes.
Prahlada and Avadutas.
The discussion
That is
between the conversation.
example, like taking example of an ocean, bumblebee,
Yes.
Python, as you said, Nabraji, Python, and
Yes.
Bhumi. So many examples there. Telling Nabraji.
Yes, bro. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
That's a higher understanding. You should say the absolute truth.
Anybody want to add anything? Nothing, I think. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for
Hare Krishna.
last 2 weeks we were waiting for you to come. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Before going to office, Prabhuji already taking class to us for today. Prabhuji will join tomorrow only. Very good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
In between the wonderful classes were going on, Prabhuji. We got
Yes,
one
yes,
of
bro. Yeah, few classes